Welcome survivors, Blackclad here with a channel first. A challenge explanation and setup guide. Today's subject is the All Passions and No Skills challenge for RimWorld. I first heard about this challenge from a RimWorld player and YouTuber Ambiguous Amphibian, who I would recommend going to watch if you're not already familiar. AA, or Ambiguous Amphibian, did a live stream where he did the challenge, but with 500% difficulty. And that led me to think, he didn't really explain it too well how to set up the challenge, so I figured I would do it today. And so, here we are. Firstly, what is the All Passions and No Skills challenge? Well, in short, it is a colonist, or a group of colonists, depending on how we want to play it, with no skill whatsoever. They are level 0 skill for everything, all the skills, all of them 0. However, they have a burning desire to learn each and every single one of them. Now, why would someone want to do the challenge? Well, the short answer would be fun. Slightly longer answer, test their skills, knowledge, how well they can handle early game with higher difficulty, or, as I said earlier, to have fun. Now, how do you set up the challenge, which is the whole point of this video? So first things first, you need to make sure that you have some mods installed. And now, if you've never modded RimWorld before, it's not too difficult to do. At least on Steam, it's not too difficult to do. The mods you'll need for this challenge are EDB Prepare Carefully and Harmony. As you can see, I've also got Vanilla Traits and Vanilla Expanded Framework. Those help with the challenge, but they're not necessary. This one mod here is the quintessential requirement for the mod, and in order to be able to use this mod, you need Harmony. How do you get these mods? Well, if you're on Steam, or if you're on RimWorld, you can go get mods from, go to the workshop, and then you can be able to go through the workshop itself and search for the mods. Anyway, once you've subscribed, and no, it doesn't cost anything, to the mods, you can then reload it. I will simulate a reload by... I'll add ideology. You don't need ideology, but it's fine to have. So save apply changes, you'll reload. Okay, welcome back. RimWorld has now been reloaded. We now have Harmony Core, Vanilla Expanded Framework, Vanilla Traits Expanded, and EDB Prepare Carefully. The reason why it didn't load up ideology is because I've got it ticked off within the settings of the game itself, just to prove the fact you do not need to have the DLCs. Okay. To start the challenge, you'll first need to, well, make a new colony. Now, this is not too important a step here. Well, it's as important as starting the game is, really. Now, you could go for Crash Landed, you could go for Lost Tribe, you could go for Rich Explorer. However, the nature of the challenge is naked brutality. Now, you can edit the scenario if you want to by adding or removing, granted there's nothing really to remove here, things, like you could add more colonists. I'm not going to. I'm also going to be going with Randy, because Randy's amazing, and Strive to Survive would reload any time. Now you can go for commitment mode, you can go for any of them, doesn't matter. Once you're happy with your storyteller and difficulty, click next. This will load the world creation menu. Now if you played RimWorld before, you're familiar with the screen. If you played RimWorld a lot before, you'll be really familiar with the screen. But I digress. You want to choose what factions you want in and not in your world. You can add some more factions, you can remove the factions. For example, I can remove the Civil Outlander faction. and I can add a civil outlander faction. You can also change the world size, which will impact loading. You can change the population density, the temperature, the rainfall, even the seed itself. I will be using the All Passions, No Skills seed, set to 100% with a slightly lower population. Okay, once your world has been generated, as you can see, this is my world, quite nice, you will want to choose a place. Now there are many different determining factors you want to choose or consider when deciding where you want to call home, for however long you decide to stay in that area. Personally, for this challenge, I wanted to opt near a road, near temperate or in a temperate forest, near some rocky land. Now, personally, I like the combination of granite and marble. So I'm gonna have a quick look around for some granite and marble areas. We'll do this one here, this location here at 15.61 north and 1.57 east, if you want to follow along using the same seed. Now, this is the important part. This is where the EDB Prepare Carefully comes into play. This is the character creation menu. Again, played RimWorld, you're familiar with it. Now you can randomize the colonist or character to whoever you want. Doesn't matter. What matters are a couple of things. Firstly, health, obviously. But also addictions. Because if your colonist has an addiction, you will start with some of that vice. Now, you can play into this if you want to. I won't be doing so myself, but you can do. I'm going to go for... I mean, to be fair at this point, none of this really matters except for the health and age. I'm going to go for this person. Sarah Four Eyes Renault. Love the name. Once you are happy with your current colonist health, age, and appearance, you can click on this button here, Prepare Carefully. This will bring you into the detailed editor for your character, or characters if you've chosen more than one. You can change the name, you can change the skills and passions, which is the important part. You can change the age, the backstory, the traits, the health. All of it. You can even customize the character, so I don't want my character to have blonde hair. Let's give them more of a ginger hair. I don't want ponytails. Instead, I want Firestarter. I want them to be male, not female. Oh, look at that. I accidentally created Newbert. Alright, so I don't actually know how old Newbert is. I'm not going to ask them. But importantly, age. I'm not going to tweak the age, but you can do. Backstory is actually quite important. For the child, you want the backstory to be child. And for the adulthood, you want the backstory to be colonist. What this means is your colonist will not have any bonus skills, any bonus levels, because any bonus skills and levels impede on the skill change. Like, they will not go down below the bonuses. So if a say adventuring child has Newbert have +2 in construction, +3 in crafting, I would not be able to lower them down below the 2 and the 3, which is not part of the challenge. Once you've done your backstory in adulthood, you want to click this button here. That resets every single skill to 0 and to no passion. And then you want to right click on each flame icon, grayed out flame icon. I mean, you can left click, but you have to left click twice. Right click is right click once. As for traits, this is entirely down to you. Although, if you do have vanilla traits expanded like I have, a very good trait to have is Iron Stomach, especially early game when your cooking skill is trash. You can also add other useful perks like Cannibal, Sanguine, when I get down to it. Another good one is Quick Sleeper, if I remember the alphabet order. And there are more, but for the purpose of this guide, I'll just be sticking to these 4. You can do less, you can do more. It's entirely up to you. Anyway, if your colonist does have an addiction or did have an addiction before you removed the health, in equipment you'll see the vice here. As you can see, the Nuba here has no vice, ergo no additional items. No items at all, actually. If you want to change any of the relationships, you can do so. If you want to give them health, you can do so. Once you are happy though, once you've done everything you wanted to do with your character, click start. You'll be asked if you are sure, and to which point you can click cancel, or you can click confirm. You can click save preset, and one that will do is allow you to save the whole entire colony. So we'll do Newbert, all passions with 3S apparently, no skills, and then save preset. If you click load preset, you can then load it. I already have another one here called Valk with all passions, no skills, which is a different colonist, basically identical except for appearance. And once you're happy, once you're done, click start. Once again, you'll be asked if you want to confirm. Click confirm, and wait for the map to generate, and the challenge will start. Now, if you don't want any hints and tips, feel free to skip to the end or to leave the video, because I will be doing a couple bits of hints. Nothing too major, just a little bit of hints here and there to help you start with this difficult challenge. And the first thing you want to do after clicking OK is to pause it. Wait for the music to subside. And first things first is you want to survey your surroundings. Have a quick look. What is there available to you? What's going to be good for you to have? What's going to be bad for you to have? What's going to be advantageous in terms of starting location? For example, we know by clicking on the Nubert that he's going to be landing around here. Now, a good place is this here, because it's not going to require that much resources to close in. It's got a nicer looking flooring compared to dirt, but also it's quite defendable. But also, if you go to the left over here on this particular map, there's this ruin here. It's going to cost you a bit more resources to build. It's got nice flooring, it's got a stele as well, and importantly, it has a table. You can use that to start as your starting home, but you will want to watch out because it's not as defendable. I personally will probably start off in here and then move over to here eventually. Okay, once you've decided where you want to stay, preferably close to your colonists for speed, you want to mark some nearby trees to be chopped. Once you've done that, you want to click on work, and you want to high prioritize certain activities. Now, for the first day, I would recommend plant cutting. Why? Because the first thing you're going to need is food and trees. Another thing to prioritize is construction, because you do want to build a home as quickly as possible. So, now we've got that, let's drop in Nubert. There he is. Nubert is straight away going to a tree to chop it down. Okay, he just gained a level in plants. Very nice. Congratulations, Nubert. As you can see, he's now produced 46 wood. Now if I pause the game, go to Architect, Structure, click off Structure. I can build using 30 planks. I know it said 35, but 30 planks for the wall, and then a further 25, making 55, which I don't currently have enough to build the remaining wall. But that's fine. What's not fine is Randy's giving me some rain. So the shelter is going to be a very high priority for me to do. Luckily, Nubert has already built an enclosable room already. You will also want to make sure that your colonist has a sleeping spot until you can get yourself a bed. Would recommend having a bed though, because beds are better. Secondly, for the first few days you will want to harvest your own berries, or whatever food's available on your world. Now, one thing you can do is you can manually click on harvest on a berry bush, or again, appropriate food source. However, you don't want to do too much, because if you do too much, you're going to waste food. So we've got him on that one berry, that should last him until tomorrow. Another thing we'll want to build is a campfire. The campfire is a source of heat, light, and a way to cook some basic meals. Very important. Nubert's now completed his building. He's going to work on the beds. So now he has a awful quality bed, which is better than sleeping on the floor. We'll sign him on there. He's waiting to get some more wood so he can build himself a campfire, keep himself warm. Although the interior temperature is a nice 24°C. It's 2000 hours, it's 8 o'clock. He's butchering the fire. Okay, now that you've built a fire, we want you to go harvest the berry bush so you can at least cook some food. We'll need to keep an eye on him just in case he butcher. Oh, he did not butcher it. Okay, we've paused it because we don't want him to eat the berries just yet. We want him to cook a simple meal. We want to do that X amount of times. We're going to say 10 for now. Okay, once you have enough berries, you can prioritize cooking at the campfire. Nubert will then, or your colonist will then cook themselves a meal. And that meal will be much more beneficial than eating food by itself. He's going to do a couple of times because he's got enough resources to do a couple of times. And that food will then last him 4 days before it spoils, which means he now has 3 days worth of food because we've done 3 meals. He'll eat one, sleep, and he wakes up, he'll do some more wood cutting. For now, I'm going to reinstall the marble table here, and also give him a stool to sit on. You'll also repair it. Marble looks much more better. A normal marble table is much more better than a wooden normal table because it has a beauty factor of 2. A wooden table, I believe, has a beauty factor of 1 or 0. I can't remember off the top of my head. Also, once he builds the stool, he'll no longer suffer from the 8 without table. Also, you notice that he slept in the heat. That's because this room is quite toasty. Now, to balance that, we can use a passive cooler. I'll put it there. Yeah, now the room will keep cool despite having a fire in the room. Now with certain mods you can actually get a cooler that will cool down the room to below 0 or freezing temperatures, which will be ideal for food storage without using the use of electronics. That is actually a game changer, but again, not a necessary download. And now Noob here has a little place to call home. Thanks for watching.